Ooh,
Okay, rock and
hi, Ken.
roll. Do I know you?
When last we talked, I can't remember when it was.
It was right before Trump's election victory.
It's been that long?
Here's the thing, and don't take this the wrong way because I don't think you're as insane as some people. But I just didn't want to get into this, me spending all my time saying that he's insane and he's a dictator and he's this and that, and you defending him and me getting pissed off. It was like, I just, I needed some time off.
But you think that's not going to happen today now?
Well, we'll find out. Here's what I say when people accuse me of having Trump derangement syndrome. I say, that's a two-way street. Because people who blindly believe everything he says have the same derangement syndrome as those who hate everything he does. And so,
Yeah,
do
but
I? Yeah.
no, finish your thought. Finish your thought.
So,
Do I want?
what do I think he's done? I mean, I love his proposal about capping interest on credit cards. I love that. I mean, okay, I have credit cards at, 19%. I'm cool with that. I think he flagged immigration as the issue. I give him credit for that. The Biden administration absolutely blew that up, just the incompetency.
Yeah.
Joe Biden got out of the race too late. Just a whole series of mistakes. He's tapped into populism. What amazes me about Donald Trump and MAGA and his followers is that his whole campaign was America first, keep out of other countries. And he's gotten more involved in other countries than any president I remember in the history of the United States, other than Abraham Lincoln.
I don't know about more. I
Well,
mean,
he's been involved in Israel. He's been involved in
which
Africa. He's been involved in Venezuela. He wants to take Greenland. He wants Canada to be a 50th state. I mean,
England is stupid. Canada is stupid. Every American president has had a strong relationship with Israel going back decades.
but Trump's argument was no more. And frankly, I'm a non-interventionist. I said, good. I'm tired of being the policeman of the world. I'm
I
tired of
am
spending
too,
all.
and I'm not that big of a fan of what's going on in Venezuela. But look, the Biden administration had already put a bounty out on this guy. He was already,
Really?
in their sights, and so they just followed up on what he did. The people of Venezuela seem pretty happy about it. But having said that, I don't want to go around the world being rescue boy for all of these
And
countries.
it's
I'm
more
I'm
that
absolutely with you. So, all right, so Trump is all right. So that's there's a few of those things, but I mean. I went and bought, and I know you can't credit American presidents for this, but we do use this as a barometer. I filled my car up yesterday, 264 a gallon. That's the lowest I have paid for gas since before the Biden
my
administration.
propane tank, which was last year $1,600 to fill up, was $2,200 this time. You
Okay.
can't gauge gas. If you look
So
at
you, no,
his tariffs, it was tariffs, although it's hard to know what he's doing with the tariffs. But it's more than that. It's him. He I hate to use the word dictator because I don't necessarily mean that bad. There's benevolent dictators. He ignores the Constitution. It's like it doesn't exist. He just does whatever he wants to do. I mean, there's a Republican that introduced a bill to authorize taking Greenland. What is going on with Congress?
Ken, I can't tell you how stupid that is. That's just stupid. But
The economy is not in great shape, and it's going to get worse shape. The tariffs
well,
have not
I,
worked
I
well.
I don't follow the stock market if that's your
No,
gauge to.
no, no. The stock market is going well. But here's the tip of the day. If you have some AI stock, it's going to crash, and when it crashes, that stock market's going to blow up. It really
What,
is.
Mark?
AI,
AI?
artificial
Oh,
intelligence, that's driving the market right now.
yeah.
But look, look, I've learned to live with them. I have as much problem with some of the cabinet members. Like, let's take Minnesota for example. And look, let me say at the outset, if I'm protesting and they have guns, I'm not going to do anything stupid because they have a gun and I don't. Okay? But it's the administration saying immediately that this was the woman's fault, the guy didn't do anything wrong without any investigation. Now that may be true, that may be what happened. But you trust the FBI to investigate this? Any way you trust the FBI to do anything, the Department of Justice to do anything that's fair and objective, it's not going to happen.
And they
So
haven't, they've been the same fair and objective in the investigations of the two assassination attempts on Donald Trump. The incompetence there is unbelievable. We still don't know we still know next to nothing about what went on in Pennsylvania and what went on down in Florida in the days leading up to.
don't you think that's more Donald Trump not wanting that? I mean, has the DOJ done anything that Donald Trump hasn't had? They indicted Comey, they've indicted all of his enemies. They'll do whatever he tells them to do. So
Look,
why?
Joe Biden had Donald Trump's house ransacked and pilfered.
I'm
So
not, listen, you I wasn't for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, look, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris were selected by the elitist core of Democratic elders. There's no way to nominate people, and the reason why Kamala Harris lost and Hillary lost in particular was because the people had no say in their nomination. Like it or not, Donald Trump was nominated by the Republican Party. So
right.
people were invested in it. You can't just say, the elders say, well, Obama. Well, it's Hillary's time. Joe, you back out of this 2016 election. No, that's not how we do it. That's not how we do it. So nobody's invested in it. Biden was in completely because of COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, Joe Biden wouldn't be president today.
Well, exactly. He would have lost it.
And Kamala was selected by Joe Biden and the Democratic elders. Three elections, three nominees selected by anybody but the people. Bernie got screwed out of 2016, and the Bernie bros sat out the election because they were so pissed off. That's how Hillary lost the election, and I think actually Bernie may have beaten him if he had been the nominee. Who knows?
I find that hard to believe, but we're never going to know. Obviously, everything is hypothetical, and we're throwing our opinions out there because that's what we do here. That's what this is for. But the Minnesota thing, I cannot imagine whether you're a man or a woman and you're the parent of young children, and you've got your dog in the back seat, by the way, and you get this involved in this stuff. This you are literally driving your vehicle right in the middle, in the midst of federal law enforcement officers. For what? For Pedro, who fucking came here from Guatemala and killed someone? That's what you're doing it for? What about all of the people who are killed, who are the victims of these punks and thugs who come here? You can bring up Laken Riley's name. Was there ever a protest by these people in support of her? No.
But that's not the only people ICE has arrested. But let me.
Well, who are they arresting?
Look, well, anybody who's here illegally, and I get it. Okay.
Nobody, our immigration policy is the only one like it in the universe. No other civilized country allows people to filter in and out without any check at all. We're it.
Obama sent back more illegal
Yes.
than Donald Trump has. I mean,
Good, I know.
But
So that means Trump's got some catching up to do so he can be in first place again.
I would not have gone to that protest if I was her. I don't disagree with you. My focus is not whether she should have been there or not, or whether the shooting was a good shooting or not shooting. It's the aftermath. It's the immediate taking to the airways. This was her fault. He was defending himself. Instead of saying, okay, this is crap. A white American woman got killed. Let's see what happened. Let's investigate it before we say what happened.
Well, this happens more now because we have these videos that are immediately go viral on
Yeah,
Twitter and on every
yeah,
other social media
absolutely.
site that you can see. So we can see what happened, and then more come out, and then more come out, and you can form an opinion. I've formed mine. You know what it is. You formed yours. I think you're less strident than I am about it. Um, I can't even begin to comprehend not complying with them at that point. If they tell you to get the hell out of there, get out. But why are you there in the first place? Yes, I know this, but these women are part of what are pretty much militantly opposed to ICE at all. And they are learning how to do this. They're being taught how to do this, to get involved and intervene in these federal government situations where you don't want to be involved. Like you said earlier, you don't want, this is not where you, and
Agree.
you're the mother of children. And by the way, this woman was a piece of shit anyway. Her two other children were taken away from her because she put cigarette butts out on them. So again, we're talking about a complete piece of shit here who was defending bigger pieces of shit by getting involved in ICE. Ken, we're living in the stupidest times ever. People are doing more stupid things than ever before.
But ICE is being sent to Democratic places, just like
That's where they are.
just
That's where all the illegals are.
well, there are
Tim
plenty of
Walz has been bringing them in by the busload.
there are also illegal aliens, illegal immigrants in Republican states.
I I
Okay,
get
they're
that.
not sending ICE there, and they're not sending the National Guard to those cities. Send the National Guard to Portland, Oregon. Really,
Well, we had ICE here in Lewiston 2 weeks ago.
because there's Somalians there. That's what.
Right.
Okay. Well, okay, but you don't just target cities that the that I mean,
Well, what do? You spin a wheel? Do you flip a coin? How do you decide where you
do
go
it
there?
that then you do it if you want to really identify the strongholds of it. I mean, Southern California without illegal immigrants is gonna. I mean, seriously, you're not gonna get your lettuce
They're
from your
doing the
salad.
jobs that Americans don't want to do, right? Remember, did you ever see the movie A Day Without the
That's a great
Mexicans?
movie. That's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's
We
it's
can
look,
survive without them. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
the ICE. I know you're not gonna like this, but the ICE are acting as Gestapo. They really are. They're
And
strong
they're the
arm.
kind of Gestapo that I want because
Half
I
of them are not even
applaud what they're
trained.
doing.
Mike,
Get
they're
them
not
the
even
hell
trained.
out.
Mike, a
You're
police
illegal. Go.
a trained police officer would not have panicked like the ICE guy did in Minnesota. That's an untrained officer who
I
reacted.
don't believe that for a second. And I don't even know what this officer's background is, but I don't believe he's untrained.
Well,
I
look
don't.
how many ICE people were just offered jobs. And by the way, did you see the recruiting film that they were sending out for people? Are you to retired police officers? Are you tired of seeing America taken over by illegal immigrants? ICE wants you. I mean, you're setting a tone.
Uncle Sam wants you. And did you see that idiot police chief of Philadelphia the other day who could barely speak the English language? And I mean, you talk about there's incompetent boobs all over the place in every single
Well, we
profession. And
used to welcome you're tired, you're poor, you're huddled masses yearning to
because
be.
they went to Ellis Island legally, Ken, they were sponsored by families.
Wait a minute, you saw The Godfather.
They, yeah,
Corleone, he didn't come in legally. He had to change his name at Ellis Island because they didn't know who he was.
they made him change his name. Anyway, let's
Don
leave.
Corleone,
Let's
Don Corleone.
I just watched it again the other day for the I don't know how many fifth time. It's still the greatest movie ever made.
It is, I agree,
It's better than Car Wash and it's better than A Shakespeare in Love.
except for part three, which was a disaster.
Oh,
Godfather part three was horrible.
should never have been made. Speaking of Italian families,
Yeah.
how about Joe Baldacci? The youngest brother in the Baldacci family, your dear friend and our dear friend Rob Baldacci's brother is in the race. He is running for Congress, obviously as a far left Democrat, because he makes John look like Ronald Reagan. He's
Well,
that far.
he's not as left as Plattner is. You
Uh,
know,
no, and we need to talk about that guy. But Joe's in, and he it. My first thought is to just totally make fun of it. I do so, or if I do. make fun of him. It's with all due respect to the Baldacci family, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for Joe because he gave my son a job when Peter was in college, and Peter worked for Joe Baldacci in his law firm as a kind of a clerk type thing. So
Nice.
well, I appreciate Joe doing my son a solid there very, very much, and he treated Peter very well. Um, this is going to be a case where people are going to vote for him and think he's John.
Well, that's that. Remember when we used to talk about Mike Brennan in Portland?
Yeah,
People thought
people
they were
thought he was
electing
John.
Joe Brennan mayor of Portland. It's like, why is Joe Brennan running for mayor of Portland? I'm going to vote for him. He's a good governor. I agree with you.
Boy, Joe is
So
left, man. He's
he,
left.
look, I don't think anybody's going to beat LePage. I really don't. I think, look, I mean, I've heard some people, in fact, I've heard some Republicans who really don't like Paul. I think he's enormously popular in the second district. I don't
Is.
see, I'm not sure Jared would have been, I mean, I think he would have beaten Jared, to be honest with you. I don't, so Matt Dunlap, I don't know why he got in there. I don't think that forced Jared to get out. I think Jared's had enough and I don't blame him for getting out. I don't. I think he'll beat Matt. I think he'll get the nomination. I just don't think he's going to beat LePage. I just don't see that.
Yeah, and I don't know why Paul is running at this point in his life. Why, when you're near 80 and you're in pretty good health? Paul's in really good health, and Ann's much younger than him. He was smart, and he outkicked his coverage like you did, Ken, with a wife. And I don't understand. You're financially, you're extremely, stable for the rest of your life. You have no worries. And why do you want to go to
I
DC?
have. I have
I
no.
always said Paul was the candidate if he ran for the Senate or the House who would least be able to handle being part of the herd instead of the alpha dog leader. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's been his role his whole life at
Yeah. Yeah.
Martin's.
Yeah.
And then as governor, he's an alpha dog, and here you're just a nobody. You're literally
Yeah.
starting out at the bottom. You're the last step in the ladder.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll vote for the Democratic nominee just because I think Paul. I agree with. I'm not voting for anybody over 70 anymore. I mean, we need younger people getting in there.
ageist, you're a fucking ageist.
Yeah, Janet Mills. I'm not
You're,
voting for Janet in the primary.
Same thing with her. What is she running for Senate for at 78
Because
years old?
everybody said to her, "You're the only one who can beat Susan Collins. You got to run against Susan Collins." Took away the age argument, took away the lifetime politician argument. What is she doing? And Dan Clement was the guy I was behind. Dan is a dear friend of mine.
Well, he just fell right over, didn't he?
Well, because the problem was when Janet got in, she was getting the Schumer money. He wasn't. And that you need the Schumer money. You need the money. You need the money to run.
So what do you think of Oyster Boy Plattner?
It's amazing to me. You talk about personality politics. You talk about Donald Trump. Is he not just a classic example of how, character doesn't really matter at all right now in the world? It just doesn't matter. I mean, look at the things he said and did in his tattoos. It's like how if we were electing people on character, we may not have a lot of candidates. I'll give you that. but but who is he? How do I know who he is? I won't vote for him in the primary. If he runs
Yeah.
against Susan, I may stay home. I like Susan personally. I have some issues with her picking and choosing when she's a moderate and when she's a Republican. I think she's been there too long. I think she's too old. Platinum was not my choice.
So I got a Susan Collins story for you. I'm in Bangor 2 Friday nights ago to go out on a date with a woman I met on a dating website. And we're going to go have dinner at Timber in Bangor, right across the street from the Cross Insurance
That's a
Center.
great steakhouse, by the way.
Oh, I'd never been before. It's really good. So I'm standing. I go in. I beat the woman there who I was going on the
I
date
was
on.
gonna
So
say you beat your
I beat her. I beat her there. I was there first.
Oh,
So
okay.
I went inside. There was a big crowd. I didn't make reservations, but I gave my name to the hostess and my phone number, and she was going to text me when the table was ready. So I'm standing out in the lobby of that place, just minding my own business. And who walks in all by herself, no entourage? Susan Collins.
Really?
At me. She looks at me and goes, "What are you doing here?" Now, I hadn't seen or talked to Susan Collins since Of course, we had her on regularly
Many times. Yeah.
and I had her on my show when we were Legacy 1160 a few times. But I was glad she just remembered me. She gave me a hug. We chit chatted for a minute, and then she went in and met a group of people at a table. But I was just impressed by the fact that she was all by herself,
Yeah.
30-year
I like
U.S.
Susan Litz. It's awfully hard to
No
not like
entourage,
Susan. You
no
can't,
entourage.
you really can't dislike her person.
I felt like saying to her, Senator, you need an entourage. You need people to clear people out of the way to say, do you know who she is? But
Yeah.
she still went right in and got her table. So I was standing there, and then another woman walks in who I know from years ago. You might know who she is too. Her Ashley Underwood, who's now Ashley Markwood, who's married to Chris Markwood, the University of Maine men's basketball coach. Ashley played basketball at Maine, and then you might remember she was Miss Maine afterwards.
I
Then she
do.
went on Survivor, and she did really well on Survivor. Ashley walks in, she goes, "What are you doing here?" I
Well,
used I used to drive her to dance class with Jessica when they were little girls going to dance class together. It was so
I wonder why people were surprised you were there. I mean,
I walk around here
it's
in
a
Waterville, my
steakhouse. It's a
hometown,
steakhouse.
relatively unrecognized. Nobody says anything to me here. Now that I'm back, I go to Bangor, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing people it was really kind of cool, and that is a great place. If you've never been to Timber in Bangor,
Yeah.
that's a really good spot.
All right. So real quickly, the governor's race. Who you handicapping in that? Who's going to
You
get?
know, I told someone the other day, I don't know who I'm going to support for governor yet. I know who I'm not going to support. Obviously, any of the Democrats and any of the lunatics, and there's a lot of them. But there's Garrett Mason just got in on the Republican side. I wouldn't vote for him if you put a gun to my head.
Really? How come?
I think he's just corrupt all the way through. And part of the problem, not part of the solution. I don't know. I mean, David Jones,
How about what's his name? The Independent.
Rick Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote for Rick. Um, so I don't know. I'll pick one of them, I guess, if nobody else gets in. How about you?
I'm not. It depends who's running. I don't. I don't like any of them, frankly, right now. I mean, I like Hannity. She's young, but I don't like lifetime family politicians. I just.
Yeah, she's a nepo child. She's
I don't
never
with
had
Troy Jackson. I would never support Troy. I would not vote if Troy Jackson got the
the
nomination.
most corrupt of the whole bunch.
I can't support. So there's people I can't support. So it depends who gets the nomination. You know.
Well, speaking
Yeah,
of
but
candidates for governor, one that used to be a candidate was a candidate twice, as a matter of fact, and he was I dare say, an FOS in our world, a friend of the show, and that was Eliot Cutler. Eliot Cutler, and the fall from grace of Eliot Cutler, child pornography charges, and he got prison time, not very much.
that was
Uh,
actually the standard sentence for a first offense of what he
yeah.
did.
Well, now he's out again, and he has been accused twice now of violating conditions of his parole. What do we do with Eliot Cutler? Do we put him on
Well,
the Kennebec Island?
you got to wait and see if he's found guilty. And Epstein's dead, so he can't go to his island. So that's no good. Look, I got a letter from Elliot after he came out of prison. It wasn't just to me, it was a form letter apologizing to people who supported him for his transgressions. I thought it was awfully weird. I'm not
I
writing a
didn't,
letter.
I didn't get one of them, but we were pretty friendly with Elliot. We had him on the show a lot. He was
I think it
really
would have been he came up 1.5 percentage points from being governor of the state of
yeah.
Maine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could say he allowed Paul LePage to be elected governor,
Well,
but
he's got a sentence over his head. So if he violated probation, he's going back to jail for a
yeah.
longer period of time.
Yeah, talk about a fall from grace, a man who had built a great life for himself, a kid from Bangor, very successful. Ed Muskie's confidant, worked for Ed Muskie, and then after all of that, comes back to Maine and becomes obviously an extremely successful lawyer, builds a huge practice, very wealthy. We've been to his expensive homes
Beautiful
before.
house, yeah.
Puts on nice parties.
But
No, no people, I guess.
I do believe it's wiring. I mean, because the recidivism rate of child molesters is, like they all re-molest. I mean, that's why I think they should be executed pretty much because they're
Yeah,
going to just do it again.
I wouldn't have a problem
They
with
can't be cured, but I do like the island concept. I like the Lord of the Flies, the Ken and Mike Island.
those of you, yeah, who are familiar, back when we were doing the morning news on WGAN, Ken, I think you came up with a concept of the Kennebec Island, which we would probably, I guess, acquire off the coast of Maine somewhere.
Well, it could be
And
Greenland. Don't
or,
get Greenland.
or Venezuela,
It's for
or
sale, I understand.
it's one of those places, and we were going to farm out all of the perverts like this to this island and let them fucking go at each other and do whatever weird, awkward, pervy shit they wanted to do and to each other, and that would be fine.
Have you seen the TV show Yellow Jackets?
No,
I have not, but my daughter Chelsea, who knows every television show ever made, it's kind of a Lord of the Flies of girls. This girls team
I heard about
crashes
it.
and they become Lord of the Flies, and so
I heard about it.
I it's pretty gruesome. I saw the first 15 minutes of
What
that.
streaming service is that on of the 8 million that
I love that.
how many streaming services do you
Every
subscribe to?
one of them, every one of them. Paramount Plus,
Yeah,
Peacock,
Netflix,
Netflix, Prime Video. All
Prime.
I watch because I never know I want to see a show on one of them. Apple TV's got, I think, the best. Apple TV's got some great shows.
I have that too. My kids have an Apple TV account, and I guess I pirate the feed from them or something like that. But
No, I think it's legal now, but not
okay,
Netflix. It's not legal, so I'm sure you don't do that one. Okay, I got to ask you some sport questions.
go.
We have the. I don't know if you know this. Patriots are playing on Sunday. Did
I
you?
think they won a playoff game Sunday night, if I'm not mistaken.
And listen. I love May. I think he's fabulous. I'm this, but boy, they are touting him like he is Tom Brady incarnate. I'm
Well,
not.
Ken,
He had a great year. Great year.
he completed 73%
I
of his
know.
passes this
I
year.
know. I know.
Tom Brady didn't, and
Well,
he's a two.
yeah, their schedule was not the hardest schedule in the
No,
world.
it wasn't. I give you
I
that.
knew
But
it.
for in his second year,
I
he
listen,
approached record-breaking status, and he could very easily win the MVP award. That
nah, he's too young. They're going to give it to the old timers, Mark Stafford.
Matthew Stafford had 46 touchdown passes. 13 of them were 1 yard plays from the 1 yard line. All
Yeah,
right.
and I
They
think
threw
it's
the
look.
ball downfield.
Drake deserves the MVP. I don't care what you say. He had the best year, but they'll give it to Stafford because he's
So
older.
the Patriots are going to play the Houston Texans on
I was
Sunday.
really hoping for the Steelers to win that game. I think they're the weaker
The
team.
Steelers couldn't beat Freeport High
I
School right
know,
now,
I know,
Ken.
I know.
They may be the worst playoff team of all time.
The
They were
Patriots are favored by 3 or 3.5.
Yeah, and I would take the Patriots and the points in this one. Houston's defense, which is being touted as being 86 Bears like, it's good, but it's not that good. I still think the Patriots are going to win this game easily on Sunday.
The Chargers defense was surprisingly good, at least the first half, unless the
Yeah,
Patriots just weren't doing it.
I don't, and in the first half, Drake May was pedestrian. In the second half, I think the numbers were 11 of 14 for 173 yards, a touchdown. He had a 142 quarterback rating. However you figure that
His
out.
scrambling was unbelievable.
But that's
Scrambling
the
was incredible.
whole difference in his game from Tom Brady's game.
Yep,
Obviously,
yep,
that
yep,
was
yep.
not Brady's game, but that's what he gives you. He keeps plays alive, whether it is finding a receiver or whether it's running downfield for 30 yards. This year is a gift for us. After a 4-13 year last year, I
Unbelievable.
expected Mike Vrabel to come in and turn it around. By the way, I'm just seeing Mike Tomlin is quitting the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is stepping down after 19
Oh, they
seasons.
must have threatened firing him.
So there's
Would he have done that if he wasn't threatened with being fired?
yeah. It's like John Harbaugh would still have a job if his kicker had kicked a field goal in the last game.
That was it. Why did they so quick to fire people? I
That's
don't
where they are. So Tomlin, it says Mike Tomlin stepping down. So it's
know.
probably one of those mutual agreement things
Of
that you.
course, of course. So if assuming Denver wins, are you picking Denver to win their game?
Denver and Buffalo. No, I think the Bills have a strong chance to upset them
Really?
there. I think we've got a great chance to have a Bills Patriots AFC Championship game in
Wow.
Foxborough.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be something, huh? Third matchup of the year, the
And could
rubber
they and could
match.
they can they beat him at the third time?
Absolutely. They can the Patriots can beat anybody left and they can lose to
Yeah.
anybody left.
All right.
And the question is, do you want that as a Patriots fan? The alternative is you go to Denver and play the Broncos in that thin air and where they always have an edge against visiting teams.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a home game against the Buffalo Bills.
All right. And now Michigan's new coach.
Yeah.
Great, great
they
hire. Great
Uh,
hire.
they,
Great hire.
they did not hire a Michigan man, as Bo
Thank God they didn't hire him.
and they
Fucking
went after
Michigan
a
man.
guy who had been in a program for 20 years, the ultimate stability hire, that's for sure. And there's nothing in this guy's background that you're going to
Squeaky
find.
clean.
And
They
I
did
heard
it
him on the Dan
fast.
Patrick show the other day, and he's a really good with the media too.
They did it fast before the portal opened, the transfer portal, because I think they were going to lose Underwood and Bryce Underwood, who was, the number one, rated college player when he came to Michigan last year. They haven't really used him well. I'm hoping that they have a coach that knows how to coach him because he's got great potential. I think this is the best thing that could have happened to Michigan.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go through. Last year with Patriots, we had to go through Gerard Mayo. You had to go through what's his name, Sharon. What?
Jerome Moore.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah,
you paid the piper this past season. So
yeah,
hopefully this guy, and it looks like it's a great hire all the way around. So
yeah. I
they
agree.
have you and Michigan's basketball team is pretty good this year, huh?
They haven't lost a game unless they lost this week and I haven't seen it. They beat
Yeah.
Southern Cal, so they're undefeated. They're still ranked number two because of Arizona. And the women are ranked by the women just lost the game, but they were ranked sixth last week. The women's
See,
team,
it's good. It's good to be a Wolverine, Ken.
you
Always.
know, I got something to look forward to after that horrible Texas game,
I know.
which was terrible. So life treating you well.
As well
You're
as can be expected, it's a busy time of the year for me out for other than tonight. I got a night off out pretty much every night doing basketball and hockey, but that's what I do.
what do you
And
what do you mean you have a night off?
I usually am out doing a hockey or a basketball game every night of the week other than Sunday. And I've got a
Wow.
rare middle of January night off tonight, so I might kick back here and take a nap this afternoon.
Last time I took. Oh, by the way, did I tell you? Did you know this probably was in the news that I had toe surgery?
I missed it, so I'll have to go back and Google it. But before I do that, why don't you tell us what happened that you had to have toe surgery?
Well, you may remember because I think maybe we
I
went on
do.
the radio. I had a bone spur on my right big toe
Yes.
that I had surgically removed probably 15 years ago. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if we were still on the air together. But the doctor, Greg Pomeroy, great toe foot surgeon, said to
Yep.
me, "Listen, in about 10 years, you're gonna have one on the other toe. Just giving you a heads up here." Well, that time came, and it was starting to really affect me. So I had a bone spur removed from my left foot, which meant no pickleball for it was 8 weeks yesterday.
Ah, mon Dieu.
And but I'm telling you, they said you're not going to be on your feet for a couple of months. You're not going to play pickleball for 3 months. It's 8 weeks. I'm playing pickleball this weekend.
Nice. Look at you recovering fast.
Despite my 73-year-old
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Look at
So,
that.
so I just thought,
Congratulations.
I thought you needed to know that, you know,
I'm glad to know that your toes are in tip-top shape and that you're at 100%. We don't have to list you on the injury report as doubtful or anything like that. We can put you down as pickleball underlined, Ken Altshuler, status probable for this weekend's games.
excellent. All right. So we're going to try and do this more regular.
We
Yes.
are.
Okay.
Now that you're over
Listen,
your ass
I
kicking
needed
and you're not butthurt
I
anymore.
needed I needed some time off
You're
because I would have just ranted and raved for a year. And
baby.
so
All right.
I've mellowed out
All is
now.
forgiven, Ken. All is forgiven. It's okay.
All right. It's great seeing you again, bud. And
Too.
I'll see you next week.
All right.